Well, welcome Clint Hurdle to Fresno, California and Chachansey Park. I'm glad you could join us for this week as well. What are your first thoughts about Chachansey Park?
This is no joke. This is some kind of A-ball facility. Love the grounds crew. Met them yesterday. The field's in very nice condition. Dave has been here a long time.
Yes,
He's
he
seen a
has.
lot of baseball,
Yes,
seen
he
a lot of
has.
good ball players. I love the old school scoreboard. We got the new school scoreboard. We got lights out when we hit homers. A lot of interactive work done with the fans. You know, your little entertainment group that runs around the ballpark has
Yeah.
a lot of fun. So I just think it's a fantastic place to come watch some young ball players play.
Well, you've had a great career, but I feel like your job right now is amazing, being the special assistant to the GM. What does that really do for you every single day? And, why have you finally made it to Fresno?
Well, first of all, it wasn't anything that was planned. I mean, my last job I was fired from. I got fired 3 times. Every time I got a better job.
Right.
So when I went home the last time, I thought I'm going to take some time off. I needed to just get home. I needed to spend time with my wife Carla and my 2 kids. They were both in high school at the time, Maddie and Christian. And for 2 years I did, and I watched. I've had people reach out, hey, would you think about, hey, and I just wasn't really ready to get back in the uniform.
Yeah.
And then Billy got the job as the GM, not the interim anymore, and he called me up and he said, this is going to be my full-time title. I'd like to make some changes and I'd like to try and create some new direction within the organization. I've got a player development guy, Chris Forbes, and his guy, Jesse Stender, I think is doing some good things. Would you consider coming back and joining us? And I go, well, what were your thoughts of having me do?
Right.
And his thoughts aligned with mine. I have no desire to put back on the uniform. I don't need to work with a big league club. I've been blessed to do that.
Right.
Over 30 years in the big leagues.
Right.
I'm all about helping our young kids figure it out, our young coaches figure it out, our young managers figure it out, so we can become a much more, just a better performing organization. We had a big year last year in the minor leagues. We had the second most wins in baseball.
Yes, we did.
We're finding some footing here. This is a good young group here. We got another good young group in Spokane. We're still trying to figure things out in AAA and AA this year. But we're moving forward. We're getting better. I love the quality of the men we're drafting, the skill sets to play baseball. But I get to come out and kind of just open the umbrella and look around. I talk to the trainer. I talk to our analytical guy, Rojo. I talk with our strength and conditioning coach. I usually will grab a player or 2 and take them to lunch while I'm here to get to know them a little bit better. I spent yesterday with Steve. So it's building those relationships, letting them know we care about them. We can make them better. And, we can coach them up in a lot of areas when they're willing to be coached up. Yeah. But we care about them and we want to earn their trust. So that's what we're trying to establish.
Well, let's talk about the team that we have right now. You are very heavy on drafting college pitchers, as we saw from this past draft. A lot of good hitters as well, too. Talk about this 2023 Fresno Grizzlies team.
Well, one of the reasons I waited till I came around later, I love to let the young guys play for a while to get their footing.
Absolutely.
You can AAA, AA, they've been around a little bit. You go in there in the month of April. Basically, we like to give everybody some breathing room early.
Absolutely.
We're together all spring. So when it's season's break, give them 2 or 3 weeks on their own just to get some club cohesion, to get their work days together, play some games, and then come in and put eyes on them and spend time with them. So I wanted to wait. Spokane was late last month, and now it's early here. Have Steve moving back into being a manager. We got Galvez, who we love, working with the infielders, coaching third. Brewer's been around. He knows a lot.
Yeah.
And Trevor came up from our GCL program to be our hitting coach. That being said, you saw a kid last night with a touch and field to pitch in Franzen. You saw Palmero come in that's got a live fastball finished in the zone, a tough breaking pitch. And then a kid that I've seen pitch a little bit already, Ramirez. He's the only kid I've ever seen that looks like Brian Fuentes. I don't know if you can remember back in the Rockies.
Brian Fuentes, one of my favorite all-time players.
Short slot.
Yeah.
Firm fastball, some tricky breaking stuff, and a devastating changeup. It's been fun to watch those 3 last night. We'll watch Connor Stain on Saturday. I'm going to miss Cox. I'm going to get to see the other guys pitch as they come through here, Prosecki and some of the other ones. I appreciate the efforts we're getting from our position players. Skylar Messenger last night had a big night from him.
Absolutely.
He's a college kid from a good program. And then we got Parker from Texas Tech, played first base yesterday. Our shortstop.
Yeah.
He was hurt almost his entire first year, Ryan Ritter. So to see him out on the field mixing it up, there's some barrel to the bat.
Right.
EJ brings effort and energy. He's never not fun to be around.
Absolutely.
Boogie's got a chance to be a good young player, good young hitter in the outfield.
Yes, sir.
And Robbie Martin had a hard year last year.
Yeah.
And he has developed and really improved. And he's showing some ability to go out and do some things offensively and defensively. And that's there's guys on the bench that can play. But I like the makeup of the club. I like the way Steve's leading them. The pitching staff. If our pitchers can keep us in position to win a game, I think our bullpen's going to hold up and do good things at the end. We like Zagnos and Skipper at the back end of things, doing some things. It's been a fun team to watch, and now to see them personally, you won't see a better game than we saw last night.
No, quick, efficient, and we like a win as well, too.
We pitched it, we hit it, we fielded it, and we did it in 2 hours and 5 minutes.
I can't say anything wrong with that right there. Let's also talk about some guys who have come through Fresno, who have continued to develop over the years. Zach Veen, Benny Montgomery, Yanquiel Fernandez, Adiel Amador, Hunter Goodman, Braxton Fulford, the list goes on and on. What can you say about the development so far of these guys?
They're all going to have the ability and opportunity to play at the major league level.
I love that.
I mean, Zach and Benny, they're 5-tool outfielders. Yeah. Their tools need some refining. Benny's got some traction now. His play and his bat has improved in Spokane. It's a hard year for Zach right now. Yeah. It's not as easy sometimes as everybody thinks it is. He had a good AFL, good spring. Hey, he should be in the big leagues. He's barely over 200 in AA. Right. So there's learning lessons for them. There's growth they need to have. There's a lot to like about Amador. He missed a lot of spring training with a hamstring pull. He gets back in the lineup like he hadn't missed a beat. Right. He's a good defender. He's probably as good a hitter left-handed as he is right-handed. Wow. And Fernandez has looked like he invented the game for many weeks.
No kidding.
In Spokane. I mean, that barrel is showing up. He's playing a big outfield. He's been fun. The kid from Tennessee, Jordan Beck.
Yeah, Jordan
Beck. Has been fun to watch. It's a good club. Coco, Kokoska is a Power 5 player that backed up last year. He didn't get a lot of bats, and now he's playing first, and he's homering. And
you can't ask any more.
Fulford was there, moved up to Hartford.
Yes, sir.
We've got good young players coming. We got good young pitchers coming, so the future's bright for the Rockies.
Ezekiel Tovar now the shortstop too, and when you were a manager back with the Rockies, do you now see with this development happening and these young stars coming through that maybe there's a chance now where you won't be the only manager to ever bring the Rockies to a World Series?
Well, I sure hope not. I mean, you want the city of Denver. I mean, look what hockey's done. Look what basketball's done.
Exactly.
We haven't been there since 17 and 18 in the playoffs, but the World Series visit was 07. That was a bunch of years ago. Yeah. I'm hoping for another opportunity where we can put a club together to win a championship, to win a World Series in Denver, and that's our thought. We're going to need to do it internally. You're not going to get good pitchers in a free agent market to come to Denver to want to pitch. It's challenging, but our kids have taken on the mentality, let's own the altitude. Yeah. They're going to figure out together. So we are a draft and develop club. And we do have players in place that I believe Tovar is a shortstop. He's going to hopefully be our shortstop for a lot of years. We picked the kid up from Cleveland, Nolan Jones. He's making his mark. Doyle's in center. We got more young players coming. Coco got up last Sunday in his debut and hit a homer.
Yes, he did.
More guys are coming. So it's going to be a homegrown team. It's going to be a fun team to watch. And again, the more we can put these guys together down here, win together down here, and grow them up, we're going to be in better shape.
Let's talk about your career as a manager as well. Pittsburgh and Colorado too. What was your biggest and fond memory? But also I want to ask a little bit about your ejections. Did you have a favorite ejection as well?
It's funny to ask. I don't have a favorite one. I have a picture that's a favorite one. It was a game against the Mets. I was in Pittsburgh. And it's actually, I got thrown out simultaneously by two umpires, and the picture shows them both. You can Google it up.
I will.
And you'll see two umpires. It's like synchronized tossing. It's got both of them are the same motion. My arm's even up in the air, so all three of them are pointing to something. I'm going to be the only one who's going to leave, be asked to leave. But the ejection is kind of funny because I never realized until I got out of the game, and I was at a fundraiser that we host for Prader-Willi syndrome. My daughter Maddie was born with a birth defect. It's called a hot stove fundraiser. But the guy we brought in was from Pittsburgh, Robbie. He's our sideline reporter. Yeah. And Robbie came up with a stat. He goes, hey, anybody have any idea how many times Clint Hurdle been ejected? And I'm thinking, I don't know how many. Right. Not that many. The number came out. He goes, it's 64. And I went, whoa, 64? I go, that's kind of a lot. He goes, it's 13th all-time Major League history. I dropped my head. I go, oh, my. 17 years in the big leagues to only manage in two places. And never won a World Series. I believe it was because the people I worked for, I gave them everything I had. We built the brand. We developed from within. We put a good product on the field. The winning record wasn't always there, but there was memories in both places. Everybody remembers Rocktober. And in Pittsburgh, we had a 3-year stretch where we were as good as about anybody playing the game. And I don't think anybody will forget that blackout game we had. I mean, it was game 163 for us. Everybody showed up in black. Cueto's on the mound. The fans start calling his name out. He drops the ball. Martin hits the next pitch in the left center field bleacher.
You're never going to forget something like that.
No, so there's great memories. Holiday slide.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean,
Talk
that
about
game
amazing.
163.
Yeah.
It still gets goosebumps. But I think the biggest thing is I was able to be part of a small group of people that brought tremendous joy to so many other people in the Rocky Mountain region in Colorado and then back in the Berg, because it was 20 consecutive losing seasons before we knocked that down in 13 and got to the playoffs. So I've been fortunate. I've been blessed. Love the people that I've worked for and had some tremendous players and relationships built along the way.
Well, Clint, I appreciate time for this interview. It is great to have you here, and hopefully you'll be back here for some playoffs here in California.
That sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you, Clint.
You got it.